Hello everybody, I'm Sire Sasa, and in this video I will refute some claims made by Lindybeige, an eccentric YouTube personality, about the use of spear in one hand. Lindybeige is right in one thing in his videos, that the combination of one-handed spear and shield is indeed the most used weapons combination throughout history and throughout the world. He starts his video by using the spear with two hands, like this. Now he holds his dominant right hand on the front. It is contrary to what all the martial arts about two-handed spears teach. They all teach that the non-dominant hand is here guiding the spear, and the dominant stronger hand is doing the sliding thrusts. But he doesn't do the sliding thrust, he does it like this. Okay, enough of this. The first point made by Lindybeige is that the spear has a reach advantage compared to shorter weapons, which is true. But he also claims that using the spear in the overhand grip loses that advantage. We will demonstrate. If my opponent has a sword and a shield, and I do this in Lindybeige style, so I come here, don't block with the shield so well, let me hit, and now you hit me. He claims that we have the same reach if I'm holding the spear like this. But what prevents me from holding the spear from here? I have the reach advantage. I could hit him, he cannot hit me. Furthermore, is sliding the spear in the grip like this. I will do it this way because it's safer. I can hit, you cannot hit me. Exactly. So that point is already refuted. It binds itself to the next point, which is he demonstrates that he cannot twist his wrist very much like this. It's irrelevant. I will show you. What Lindybeige always does to make fun of the overhand grip is this kind of demonstration. He is hitting the ground. Why? Because he thinks that you must grip the spear at all times with your fist closed like this, with all your fingers, and thus he does this to make fun of it. Well, this is not the way of doing it, obviously. You do it like this. You open the palm of your hand, you open your fingers like this. Thus you give more reach and you can stab straight forward like this. It's easy to do. So never hold your spear throughout the movement with a closed fist, or almost never. Otherwise, yes, you lose some reach. I cannot reach further than this, but if I do this, I can reach further to my opponent. And then I could even do the sliding thrust like this. At the end of the sliding thrust, yes, I am gripping the spear with the fist closed, because I need to stop it, and then I bring it back. It is the same movement as throwing the spear, but instead of letting it go, I grab it and return it to here.
Next, Lindybeige talks about the counterweight, the back end of the spear. When he's holding the spear at the point of balance, half of its mass is behind the hand. Now, some historical spears had counterbalances, like this one. Then you could grab it further behind and gain more reach, even without opening your hand or doing the sliding thrust. But you don't actually need the counterbalance for most of the spear work.
Now Lindybeige demonstrates that the overhand grip is inferior compared to the underhand because it has a longer counterweight when you are holding the spears like this. And then he does something like this to put it a little lower your hand. He blocks the spear away. This is actually quite hard to do because he's holding the spear in a good position and I'm quite at the same plane. I would have to be in different level to block it. So that's already awkward for me, not for him, unlike Lindybeige says. And Lindybeige tries to demonstrate that the back half of the spear in the overarm grip is of huge disadvantage because I could do this and it flies to the side. If he's holding it very tightly, I have to push against it and then I'm not fighting for the center line anymore, but I'm pushing to the side and he can take it over or just stab me. Yes, I don't want this to happen. Now Lindybeige demonstrates in his next point that parrying with the overhand grip is lousy because there's supposedly only one option, like this. So he asked his opponent to drop his shield. I asked my opponent to pick up his shield because this is supposed to be a video of using spear with a shield, but during the whole video they almost never use the shield, which is very stupid in my opinion. So if my opponent is using the shield, I try to stab him. This happens. He of course blocks with the shield at first. Now, if he drops his shield, which is stupid, he can still block with a spear. Like this. Very easy. He doesn't need more than the one block or parry. He can do this. Or if his arm is if his hand is on the other side of his head, he can block from the other side. Like this. So the same movement here and here is used as a parry. But of course the main parrying is done with the shield. If you pick up the shield again, you have two options. You can parry with the shield or you can parry with the spear, like this. And now Lindybeige's opponent is not very good at using a spear. So when he blocks, if you attack me to my head, he blocks like this. Of course this is bad because, do it again. Now I block, the spear is vertically. This is bad. I can block, but I cannot counterattack. And he makes this one of his points, that this is a bad block because you cannot counterattack. But instead of blocking spear in this position, you block the spear in this position, close to the 45-degree angle. So, if you hit me again, let's turn around so they can see better. I'm already here in the perfect position of hitting. Once more. I could even hit inside the sleeve of a male shirt if he had one, to the armpit. Quite deadly. So that's a good blocking motion with the spear. It immediately leaves you in the position where you can do a perfect counterattack, in my opinion. You just need practice. Of course, we can continue this. He hits me, I block, I try to do counterattack. He continues blocking with the shield. If we do this quicker and you block it like this, it can happen, yes, of course. But if I'm aware, I can step here and continue the thrust. I'm still blocking the spear and thrusting my opponent. I can ram it in. Oh, he also likes to demonstrate that if the opponent is blocking like this, the spear vertically, you can do with the underarm. You do the first stab, he blocks it, then you can do something like this. Whoa! And I win! But what prevents him from blocking again? And when he has the shield and holds the spear in better position for blocking, in an angle like this, and I try to do it. Well, first of all, there is the shield. I wouldn't hit the shield. I try to go past the shield. Now if the spear is on this side, I absolutely cannot reach his body because he's using the shield in a good position. So I would have to try to step here. But it takes me a longer time to step here than him to just turn his body a bit, like this. I can go all around, I never can reach him. This is stupid also. And yes, even without the shield, if I try to stab you, he can protect himself pretty well when he's not holding the spear close to his body. Lindybeige's next point is direction of attack. He claims that in overhand method you only have one direction of attack, that is from up to down in a diagonal manner, like this. Here, here, here. This is not true. Of course, you can attack like this also. You can attack from down to up. You can attack horizontally. You can attack from up to down. You can absolutely do this and vary the point of attacks. He tries to demonstrate that with the underarm you can attack all these points like this, or even like this. And he says this is almost as strong as doing it with the overarm grip. The overarm grip is significantly stronger in this kind of attack compared to this. There has been scientific studies to prove it, that this is weaker than when you do it in the overarm manner. Well, you don't always need to use the maximum strength. Both of these could be deadly to at least an unarmored opponent, which we are now. But he claims, his point here is that the underhand or underarm gives you more attacks, more different kinds of attacks, more lines of attacking, more points to attack. This is simply not true. I will show you how. Yes, you can attack with the underhand. You can attack all the points of the body like this or like this. But you can also do the same things with the overarm grip. You can attack all points of the body like this, from down up, from up down, horizontally. But what you also can do, you can attack from the left side of your body, like this. This you cannot do with the underarm grip. And this is the main disadvantage of the underarm grip. You absolutely can use the underarm grip in a fighting like this, but you cannot do it from the left side of your body. All these attacks from the right side you can do with the overarm grip also, but you can also do the left side of your body. You can attack from here, you can attack from here, here, everywhere. All the range of motions is possible with the overarm grip. Unlike in the underarm grip, I cannot go here. I would have to, if I really want to, have to do a sliding thrust and then pull it to the left side of my body. Now I could attack from here. But again, I have to either change to overhand or to slide it in front of me again, which is awkward to do. Now the overarm it gives me much more chances to attack, because the shield is usually on the left side of my opponent. It's very useful to attack from this side, from the unshielded side. For example, like this. Like this. I can do the shield turn if I want. I don't have to do the shield turn if I don't want. But it's very useful. In his next point, Lindybeige talks about how when you hold the spear in the underhand manner and brace it against your elbow or forearm, you can stand like this all day. Probably true, but why would you like to stand like this all day? This is not a good fighting position. I cannot do more than this here. Not good. He then tries to demonstrate how he is hopelessly outreaching his opponent. These are about the same height, these sticks. If I'm using it like this, like Lindybeige, from the quite near the end, and you're using it in the overhand manner, on the point of balance, yes, now I'm outreaching him if you try to hit me. Almost. Now my opponent is using the spear like the Lindybeige way, bracing it under his arm like this, and I hold it near the point of balance here. If I come here, I can just reach, but I wouldn't hold it at the point of balance at the whole time, because this is stupid. I would do something like this. Taking a step, I can reach. I can hold the spear at the exact same point he's holding the spear. Lift it up. You see? But like this. I can do it with a heavier spear also, if you're wondering. That was just for safety. Of course, I cannot hold it here for a very long time. That's why I don't do it. I just hold it here and then I stab here. Then Lindybeige is saying that he can reach this much volume of air with his spear, holding it like this. But what's the point of this? He tries to claim that this is really useful in a group fighting situation. But has he ever been in a group fighting situation where he could do this? If there's 5 spears pointing at me and 4 spears, 2 on my each side, pointing at my enemy, I cannot do this kind of big movements. It's completely useless. Also, if I'm blocking like this, I cannot thrust my opponents. For half of the time I'm pointing at the sky where there is no enemies, and some of the time I'm pointing downwards. Only here and here I'm pointing at the useful height of actually stabbing my opponents. He says you can cover less amount of space with this. It is true. You don't actually need to cover that much space. Here I wouldn't do this either, but I would do this, only this. I would use my shield and my spear to parry. Of course I could parry the spears coming at the guys on my right and left, but not much further than that. We really have to demonstrate this in a group fighting situation later. The next point of Lindybeige is that some of the spears in history had ferrules on the back, counterweights and spikes on the back end of the spear. That is true. Most of the spears throughout history probably didn't have those, but in some periods, like in antiquity, they were relatively common, at least some of the time. For example, the Greeks and Romans had them from time to time, not always. But yes, if you have a ferrule or a spike, butt spike on your spear, it is dangerous to the people behind you. But the thing that he's wrong about is that it's dangerous, more dangerous in the overarm than the underarm grip. I'm of the opinion that it's far more dangerous in the underarm grip in group situations. Because if I have a guy behind me and I'm using, let's go the other side so the shields don't block the view. If I have a butt spike here, and yes, if I would use this in a Lindybeige manner, then yes, this would be dangerous to the guy behind me. And if it gets hit here, also it would be dangerous. But this is not the level of spear I'm going to use. I'm going to use it in an angle like this. Here I can thrust forward and pull it back in the angular position. So it cannot in any circumstances hit people behind me. And this is what they did in group fighting scenarios. We have actually sources of this. I can stab forward, straight forward, and pull it back in the diagonal position. This is very useful. And the guy behind me can also stab. Like this. But instead, if I would use it in an underhand manner, I'm going to hit the person behind me like this. And if I try to use it up here, like some people, some reenactors do, it's very dangerous for the guy behind me. Next, Lindybeige claims that the underhand grip is much better for stabbing the foot of the opponent. Maybe so, but is it very useful to stab the foot? Because there are much better targets, the face, the neck, the upper body, the stomach, for example, than the foot. The foot is a very small target. Yes, I can hit the foot or the leg, but it's more difficult than to hit the larger and more important body parts up here. And he claims that with the overhand grip it's impossible to block. He says it's no contest, I can easily stab here. Yes, I can stab here, but if my opponent really, if I'm not even doing the sliding thrust Lindybeige is doing, or Lindybeige is not doing, I have a hard time hitting the foot, while when he blocks it he could just step forward, and when even if you block this first, then step forward and stab my face. Like this. Usually I would not try to reach the foot as my first target. Of course I can thrust here and then change here, but he has a shield, he can use the shield. Lindybeige says that it's very slow to block the foot hit with a shield. That is true. I can try harder. It's possible to do. I don't have to put it just down, I put it a little bit forward so I can block it better. Jatkuu vaan. I can do this, but it's very tiring for the hand. Of course, if I at the same time attack, I end the fight. I could also block it with my spear if you do it again. What I can also do is to move my leg. Now you see Sire's favorite move. And I win. So easy. Again. Again. I can even kick the spear to the side. Easy to do. It works with a heavier spear also. Because the heavier spear is slower, it's actually easier to do. Lindybeige's final point is that if you're in a group fighting situation and you use this to feint to the leg or to anywhere of the body, you keep your opponent busy with his shield. Okay, if my opponent does this, if he tries to poke at my feet to make me move my shield, so I open all of my upper body for his friends to stab me. Yes, if I am stupid and I go like this in a group fighting situation, yes, then I'm probably dead. But I wouldn't do in a group fighting situation. If he does that, I do this. Stab at my leg. I can raise the leg. It's easy. Very relaxed. And my favorite thing, if he does that again, I can actually step on the spear and snap the head clean off the shaft. This works very easily, even with ashen shafts like we have here. I have done it. I will show it to you in a video. This is very useful. Then he's out of his weapon and he's dead. Too much time to take the sword out. But we will demonstrate this with a group fighting situation, so you can see it more clearly. You can also try if he can take the sword very quickly after I well, yeah, not really. Well, I think this is for it for today. Thank you, my nameless opponent. Thank you for watching.